Hey guys, how we doing? I hope we're all well. So sometimes we get to a point in life where we just start to question everything. We just want to know, what's it all about? Is this it? Is this kind of like, the 9 till 5, the eat, sleep, repeat, the humdrum of life, the hive of activity that we all go through on a day-to-day basis? And we get to a point sometimes in life where we just think there must be something a little bit more, and I need to try and find myself. I need to try and find some level of peace. And within that level of searching, we decide usually that we want to either go onto a spiritual path, or we want to heal ourselves on some level, or a combination of the two. It usually kind of gels together with the two areas fitting into each other. So that's what I thought we'd kind of talk about today. And who am I to talk about all this stuff? I mean, you can see by the things all around me in the background, this wonderful backdrop and the artwork and the wall hangings and things like that, I'm pretty much into a lot of this kind of stuff, as we call it. And it's kind of hard to explain how it works, and it's hard to explain what we kind of get out of it individually. But the more we work on ourselves, and the more we delve into the practices that we start to tune into, that we want to start to develop, then we find a little bit of something in each of them that kind of resonates with us, and it has a meaning, it has a deeper meaning. There's an element within us where things just go ping, things just fit, and it just means something to you on a much grander scale than what you can kind of put a physical meaning to. There is something much deeper behind it. And again, this is kind of like where we're all start looking for something a little bit more in life. And over the last sort of 4-5 years, a lot of people have started to do that, especially with the likes of when the planet went into lockdown and things like that, and people weren't working, they were furloughed, they had to work from home. And a lot of this downtime gave people the chance to actually look at their lives, look at themselves, and think, you know what, I'm going to start doing what I used to love doing. I've got all this extra time. There's no commute to work. I'm working from home. Once I'm finished, that's it. I'm done. And I have this many hours. I'm not having to fight through traffic or whatever to get back home. So you have all this extra space within your week, within your day. And people started to delve deeper into themselves, into what they love to do, whether it's gardening, walking, doing more exercise, getting into some sort of spiritual practice such as meditation, or learning some spiritual practices to do with healing, or even artwork. I started looking into artwork, doing a lot more of my art, and that's how I managed to get quite a good catalogue of stuff to put into this room. And all these things, they do happen for a reason. Everything just kind of fits together, and it's strange how it just happens. Things just seem to fall into place at the right time, and you can't really explain it. You can't put a meaning to it, and that's kind of like the realm of spirit, I suppose, that is all around us, always guiding, always assisting. I was going to say hissing there, always assisting on some level. But how do we start? Where do we actually begin with all this kind of stuff that we get into? And it's one of them things that really you do fall into. It does just kind of creep up on you, and you don't realize it, and then before you know it, you've got like 90 crystals, and you're surrounded by flowers and bits of artwork, and you're doing spiritual stuff and really into crystals, and you're meditating nearly every day or twice a day or whatever, and it just becomes a main staple of your everyday life. So looking back to when I kind of began, really for me, the turning point for me with regards to all this, and the path that I then became attuned to, really, how I started my journey was through meditation. It was through discovering meditation. It was through discovering a friend of a family member who randomly got in touch, and we became good friends, and I explained what I was going through in life at the time, which was a lot of mental health stuff, which if you're subscribed to the channel, if you follow me, then you're aware of my journey, you're aware of what I've been through and the various challenges that I've had to face with regards to that, with regards to my sexuality, regards to just life and how I was as a person. And you know, I've been doing a lot of reflection on that lately as well, how I am now and how I was as a person, how my life's changed so much since discovering all this stuff, all this amazing, these healing modalities that we face, but not just the modalities, just the way of being, the way of living, the way of becoming, the change in perception, the change in habit, I suppose, just the outlook on life, the switch of how you want to think about things. Some people want to just kind of worry and ponder all day long and create this kind of whirlpool of anguish and torment, you know, which is one of the places that I used to be in. And then as the years go by, you become more confident in yourself, you become more resilient, you become more self-aware, you become more aware of others, you become more aware of the energy of things that are around you, which is where energy healing comes into a play of its own. I think I might do a separate video on that, on actual energy healing and what it is and what it means. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then subscribe to the channel and keep posted, because I think it really is kind of underlooked by a lot of people about the people we're around, the things that we get involved with, the habits, the mentality, the emotions, what we do in each and every day creates a signature of energy. And that's within ourselves and with those around us, and they're also, the people that are around us are also creating this signature of energy which can affect you and you can affect them, and it's this yin and yang approach to life. And the more you become more aware of energy and your own energy, and that feeling of who and what you really are, because this isn't really you, this is kind of like your avatar, this is your physical meat suit that we use in this life to navigate through on our spiritual journey, and we are spirit in human form. So going deeper into that, you realize that there is, when you start to quieten things down and you become more in tune with yourself, whether it's through a meditation practice or, you know, qigong or some sort of energy routine or exercise, you do become more aware of this stillness that is within, and that is you. That is what is really you. That is your true essence. So all your thoughts, all your emotions, all the stuff, all the baggage that you carry in the physical body isn't you. It's a lot of that is ego, and it's the way the ego likes to work to identify you as that and nothing more. So, you know, you are the worrier, you are the overthinker, you are the narcissist, you are this, you are that. You know, it gives you all these characteristics and feelings and thoughts and emotions that is what you are. and that's it basically. But then when you try, there is an element of ego death that comes about through these journeys, where little bits of yourself kind of falls away, and it is hard, it is difficult to face the reality and the acceptance that everything that you've ever thought or known or perceive to be true, the majority of it isn't real. And the only reality that we actually have is now, the present moment, because that is the only thing that exists, is the present moment. And when you come to kind of comprehend that and put like deeper thought into it, which is where a lot of people now will just be like, oh, I've had enough of listening to you waffling on, I want to go to the pub, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to go and hang out with mates, and that's fine, that's their journey as well. But there will come a point in life, whether it's in this life or in future incarnations of yourself, and hopefully these videos remain on YouTube for all time for people to be aware of, so people can catch up with this and be able to see it at some point. But when you look deeply into that and actually realize that there is nothing more than the present moment, the future doesn't exist, it's not happened, it only happens as you move through this span of time, which again isn't real, because time is a creation, a man-made creation really. So the thought and the idea of seconds and minutes and hours is something again that's just being created to fit this physical reality. But beyond that, that doesn't really exist. And it's a bit of a shock. It really is, when you start delving into awakening and spiritual awakening and being true to your spiritual self of who you are through these spiritual practices that we start off with. And the more you're on this spiritual journey, it's like a snowball effect. It becomes more and more powerful, and you become more and more involved with that realm of things and less involved with the physical realm of things, even though we're here in a physical reality and we do our day-to-day things. But more often than not, a lot of the stuff that is happening in the day-to-day things no longer really affects us, and we kind of bypass that because of the true reality that we're existing in at that time. And I've kind of like gone off track slightly with regards to what I was saying, but for me, how it all started, again, like I was saying before, it started with meditation. It started through meeting a friend of a family member, through a synchronistic act of him just ringing me, getting in touch, and he knew all about my mental health problems, and said, have you ever tried or thought about doing meditation? And I was just like, nah, it's not for me, I'm not one of those people that can sit and do that, I've got to keep my mind busy, I've got to be on the go all the time, so for me to turn to that and to try, I was open to try anything, because by that time I'd just had enough. I'd had enough of everything. I'd had enough of work, I've had enough of life, I've had enough of people, I've had enough of what you name it, I'd had enough of it. So I started meditating, and I could only do a few minutes at a time, built it up, a few more minutes, because then few minutes of meditation, of just finding that peaceful space within my mind, body and spirit, was extremely uplifting, enlightening, made me feel like, wow, this is amazing. And this is just from sitting quiet for a few minutes. Imagine what sitting for 20 minutes would feel like. And I got to a point where I was just like wanting to meditate for as long as possible. I was wanting to meditate for like hours, which I started doing. I started meditating for long periods of time. I started having like out of body experiences. I started doing astral travel. I was going the full hog. Don't do as much now. I'm kind of like, I've kind of become more spiritually mature within myself, where a lot of stuff now, it kind of like, a lot of things that would have once, maybe 2 years ago, would have triggered me, would have made me want to like stick my nose in or have an opinion or bite about something or say something about what somebody else has said. Now it's just kind of like, well, that's their thoughts, that's their opinion, that's what they want to say, that's their reality, that's what they've created. I'm focusing on my reality, which I'm creating by doing what I need to do, which is the healing work, whether it's healing with clients, whether it's healing with myself, and that comes hand in hand. And we also need to know about the balance of doing the healing work, but also doing the healing work for ourselves, and having that balance between the two, because you get to a point where you think, wow, this is amazing, I'm helping all these people are having such a great, I'm getting all this feedback, I'm getting all these great responses, and you push yourself into it, you push yourself into it, you do more and more and more, and then it's like, bam, you hit a wall, and you're like, oh shit, I just feel so tired, I feel so drained. Why do I feel so drained? And even though, like, especially with like the healing work, with the Reiki, with energy work, you tend to receive the healing as well as you're giving it. So, but even though that's happening, it is also tiring. It is also draining, because there's a lot of your kind of awareness, a lot of your focus, a lot of that stillness that you work on when you're doing it over long periods of time for so many days a week. It can be quite tiring, it can be draining, and that goes across the board for all healing practices. Whether it's massage and all that sort of stuff, or all the yoga teaching, and there's so much, and there's so many different forms of healing modalities out there that the more you do it, it can become tiring, where you just need to have a few days off. You have a few days off, you work on yourself, you cleanse your energy, you work on your energy, you come back stronger, fitter, faster, better, more in tune with yourself, more aligned to yourself, and that's kind of like the path. That is the way to go, is to just take it a step at a time, and not want to just go kind of like full belt to the leather sort of thing, and just really take your time with it, and you will find things that resonate with you, and that will just randomly pop up for you to become aware of. And if you're not aware of them, then they'll probably pop up in the future, or that, obviously, that awareness that we require on this journey is something that, if you aren't aware of things, then maybe there's something you need to work on within yourself, within your own awareness, so you become more open and more aware of things. And again, through meditation practices, various forms of meditation, and incorporating various things into your meditation practice. So I started using crystals quite a lot within my meditation practice, and that really enhanced a lot of stuff, a lot of things for me to focus on, a lot of mindfulness techniques, a lot of really like kind of looking into the crystals and visualizing and working the third eye, and just wondering what I feel in my body, with connection to the crystals as well. And again, that way of working really helps to open up more of that deeper awareness within yourself. But again, things like the crystals only came in because I started seeing crystals all the time on like TV or on YouTube videos or in magazines that just randomly came through the door, and I was just like, crystals, oh, that's interesting, let's have a look at them and see what I feel from them. And there was just kind of like, there was something there. There was like a connection. So I got some, and wow, amazing. Like crazy, like how powerful they were to incorporate within the meditation routine. And then, a bit of time went past and it was like Reiki. And Reiki came into my life and just like, it just really opened everything up so much more. Once that was combined with the meditation, the crystals, it was like, boom, it was just like the floodgates had opened. And it was it's a really good, powerful base to start from, Reiki. It really is on a healing journey. So that was kind of it for me. That's kind of like how it went. And then after a bit more time, there was like, people started talking about tarot and tarot cards. And I was like, I've always been like a little bit kind of not sure about tarot, but let's have a look at it. And then I started seeing, again, things in magazines, things on videos. I was like, okay, let's have a look at that. So I got a pack of Rider-Waite cards and started working with them and just seeing what I kind of felt from them or understood from them. And things will just ping into your reality when you need to be aware of them. And that's kind of like how it works. And basically, don't overthink it. Don't overthink the process, because spirit and that reality of spirit, of how we connect to it and how we move through that reality in unison with that spiritual flow within ourselves and with the spiritual flow that is around us, then kind of the more we try to think about it, kind of puts a block on it. It kind of stops things from happening. And it really is going with that flow, that deep intuitive feeling that like, you know what, I get something with this and it feels right. I'm going to go with that and see what happens. And it's that little subtle feeling that you get within, that intuitive feeling that kind of leads you down the different pathways of where you need to go. So your spiritual journey is going to be totally unique to you. It's going to be beautiful, and they always are beautiful. There is always going to be ups and downs, but again, that's also beautiful, because with each down, there will always be another up. And when you go into the down, there is something for you to learn within that down, within that low point. And then when you come to the high point, be so grateful and aware of this high point, of why you're feeling so good. And then when you come back to another low point, you're like, oh wow, I feel really, really heavy. There must be something I need to work on within this. What's going on? Oh, it's a full moon, right? Okay, I know that's going on. But what else is happening? What do I need to work on with myself? Have I slipped away from various practices that I was using before, and I need to try and maybe reintegrate within my daily routine? So it really is just about flow and finding that flow within yourself and connecting to that. So don't overthink it. Just feel it. Really feel it. That really is the way to go with a spiritual journey, with a healing journey, with an energy journey. It really is all about feeling and feeling that awareness from within. And the best way for me, what I found to connect to that awareness within, was meditation. So if you're new to wanting to discover more about yourself, about who you are, about the direction in life that you want to take, maybe life is just not working out for you and you just need something different, you need to take a new path, new road, new venture, just have a new outlook on life, try meditating. It really is powerful. It really can transform your life. Have a beautiful day. Much love to you all. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.